welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to do something kind of special because over the 2013 period I created the series I'm most proud of and the most enjoyable series I've created, so far at least, called Custom Class. Now this series for me is all about interacting with you guys. You guys post setups in the comments and I choose one for the next episode. They've been absolutely amazing over 2013. All of them have been incredible. Of course, some I can't really choose because either there's been too many comments or it's just been, you know, a bit hectic. So what I wanted to do was create a video showcasing the 5 that I'm most proud of, the 5 most amazing setups, at least in my opinion. Let's kick things off with number 5 being the hit marker. Now the hit marker was a setup featuring the PP19, otherwise known as the Bison in other games. Either way, this weapon is absolutely awful and should not be used in any circumstances, but put a silencer on there makes it 10 times worse. So why not add insult to injury, rub salt into the wound by putting it in single shot mode. Now this setup was so hard to use until I found the biting point. Now it's just really finding the trigger finger with this setup, so it was very hard to use, but so very enjoyable, as I expressed in the video. Now let's move on to number 4, featuring the King of Kings, the one and only AS Val. Now we've seen this weapon in Bad Company 2 as the VSS, now we've seen it in Battlefield 3 and it's been sorely missed in Battlefield 4 up until now. Of course, with Second Assault on Xbox One, we have the AS Val back in our hands. Of course, the PC and PlayStation should get Second Assault fairly soon, but this setup for me was very awesome because I hadn't featured the AS Val at all in any video, well, not in any custom class video. And of course, Battlefield 4 fast approaching, I thought it was only necessary that I kind of showcase it a bit. So in hindsight, this was an absolutely awesome setup, and of course, when I do finally unlock the AS Val for Battlefield 4, I do want to showcase it a bit more. Now in bronze medal position we have the MG36 Battlefield Bad Company 2 style, featuring, well, the MG36. Now for me, this setup was absolutely awesome and claims 3rd place for being a kind of nostalgic setup. I wanted to create the MG36 from Bad Company 2. As we know, it had the scope on the top, the little red dot. It was absolutely awesome. I adored that weapon in Bad Company 2. Now unfortunately they didn't bring back the style of the MG36 to Battlefield 3, but I wanted to recreate the style in my own interpretation. So I tried a various number of scopes, but really what cut it for me was the intro. Now I don't like to toot my own horn here or there, but this intro was absolutely awesome and generally why I love it to bits. Now, who could forget the USAS 12 in Battlefield 3? Yes, that's right, the one and only Shock and Awesome. This setup featured the USAS 12, which in my opinion was the greatest shotgun ever, until they nerfed it and it became completely redundant. Okay, so that's fair enough, but put frag rounds on there, which again are useless, makes the weapon even more ridiculous. So why not make my life just a little bit more miserable and put the RNV scope on there to make it just a little bit harder? So in hindsight, this setup wasn't actually too bad because I found the killing potential, at least in close quarter combat, was actually very good. The scope, in the other hand, was actually very effective, not for long range combat, not for close quarter combat. I found hipfire became much more useful, so I didn't really see any need for the scope, but I did find the scope became useful for spotting people at distances or at medium range, and also spotting gunfire. It could spot flashes very easily, and then you could detect people's presence just by the flashes. So in all, I wanted to thank whoever submitted that, because it was absolutely awesome and generally made my day. Now at number 1 position for me, this setup is awesome in so many respects, because it's one of those setups I found very nostalgic. Admittedly, I've done the MG36 before, but this really just put the cherry on top of the cake for me, because it brought me back so many memories from Bad Company 2. So at number 1 position we have God Mode, featuring the M416. Now what I was trying to recreate here, what I was suggested to recreate, was the M416 from Bad Company 2 with the red dot sight, the underslung shotgun, I think it was, and the heavy barrel. Now in Bad Company 2 this weapon was an absolute monster. It would destroy people at ranges you wouldn't think was possible. But in Battlefield 3 it wasn't all that simple. Admittedly, you could kill people very easily, but I don't think it had the range it did in Bad Company 2, nor the killing power. Nonetheless, this was an absolutely awesome and so very enjoyable setup to use, and hopefully I can try and do something quite similar in Battlefield 4. However, as you probably saw previously in the video, I did get banned from a server for using the M416, I presume, or maybe it was for killing half their team. We'll never know, but either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time. So that has been my top 5 custom class videos of 2013. Of course, I do hope you enjoyed it, but I couldn't just end it there. Oh no, I do have to do something a little bit different at the end. Now, over 2013 I've made a fair few montages, has to be said. I'm not an expert at making a montage by any means. I can't do the editing. I like to make a montage that's between 3-4 minutes. I find that kind of time is ample and just kind of perfect for a montage. I like to make something that has a compelling story as well. I've seen hundreds of montages over the internet that has, you know, this flash editing that's really unnecessary, and most of the time you see someone flanking the enemy and just gets hundreds of kills. Admittedly, that's fairly enjoyable to watch, but it's been done so many times it's just not unique anymore. So I like to think I'm making something a little bit different, and for me, my favourite montage overall out of all of them has to be Gravity. Now, last but not least, in Battlefield we experience these epic moments that happen over and over again. Time after time they never seem to get stale, but whether it's taking down a jet with an RPG for the very first time, maybe blowing up a tank with, or 2 tanks with a bunch of C4. I actually remember doing that. I had a clip on my channel ages ago of finding these 2 tanks perfectly positioned, a bunch of C4, 1 click, and a bunch of points. It was absolutely amazing. But for me, the most epic moment of 2013 was, of course, my epic James Bond moment. Now, of course, I could sit here and explain to you exactly what happened, but I think you'll find it a little bit more enjoyable to see it firsthand. So, I hope you enjoy. So I think that's been a pretty successful overlook on my channel at 2013. I do hope you enjoyed the video, thank you so much for watching, and as always, until next time.